NNRG.
Okay, so for just a moment, I want you all to pretend like you haven't seen the thumbnail and you have no idea what this game is about. With a name like Final Assault, what would you expect? Like, I went into this thinking, oh, it's probably going to be like some kind of 2D shooter or something, or maybe it's going to be like some kind of military game from a side-scrolling perspective. No. If you haven't looked at the thumbnail yet, and you're trying very hard to understand nothing about this game, then yeah, this is going to come as a surprise because I didn't know a game like this existed. Well, okay, that's not entirely true. I knew bad games like this existed, but we're about to see one which might actually be decent. At least from what little I've seen so far, because I did have to check the manual and everything. But anyways, let's start it up here. So, Final Assault. Got a little ampersand in the corner. And we got a nostalgia intro this time, which means this is going to be a more recent one. Although I don't think this particular intro here actually has the cracking date on it. Just the year of the game. So, yeah, 1988 game. But anyways, let's move on from here. So, yeah, that's how I know it's a more recent one, because it actually has a web address. And then we've got the trainer stuff here, but I'm going to skip all of it, so just going to go for start game. I'm going to get some loading here. And if I recall, the loading times are pretty decent on this one, at least with the crack in place. But this is interesting. So it's giving the game details, like the name of everything right here. Final Assault version 1.6, and I think it shows the company that made it next. Yeah, Epyx. So the way it's scrolling here right now, something I find very interesting about this is that this scrolling is occurring inside the border area. What? How, for those of you who understand what I mean by that, the Commodore 64, you see that big border around the main screen area, because the main screen area is your standard character space. It has 40 columns across and 25 rows down, just like a normal DOS screen. But then you got that big border. You can't normally do things with the border other than change its color, yet we've got a full screen of scrolling graphics here. How? How is this being done? Okay, so let's move on from the impossible screen of scrolling, because I really have no idea how they pulled that off. I'm sure there's some kind of trick behind it, but... And here we go. We got our actual proper title sequence now, and I think it should be obvious what this is. This is a mountain climbing game. Like, I didn't think any such games existed prior to, like really bad ones like, what was that one that Head Games did? Okay, I looked it up just now. Extreme rock climbing, that's the one I was thinking of. But anyways, press spacebar to continue. So, we're gonna do the free climb? Catch on the flip side? I'm remembering quotes from that episode now. Okay, so they got our main game screen here. So the idea is you're just trying to climb various courses on the mountain, and you can climb as many courses in a row as you'd like. Well, up to 3. So the idea is the more you do in sequence, the harder it's going to be to complete the entire set of courses you do. So we're just going to do one, and then enter name. Yeah, so I was testing this out briefly because this is not a straightforward game. You're going to see that in a moment here. So departure time, I don't know completely what this affects. My guess is that the weather is going to be different depending on different times of the day. Like, I mean, we could start at like 2 in the morning if we wanted to. It's probably a terrible idea. You know what? Let's start at 9 a.m. It seems reasonable. And we'll do it in the summer. Okay, so now it should be loading the course selection. So there's 6 different courses we can choose from here. And it kind of goes without saying, the shorter the course, the more likely it's going to be easier. But the interesting thing to keep in mind here is that there are some differences here, because some of this is ice and some of it is rock. So like, I mean, course number 2 here, if we pull it up, calls it the Sideburner, level 6, height 774 meters, and 18 hours of time to complete it. 18 hours being the in-game time, so I don't know how that translates to real time. But the thing is, it looks like it's mostly rock, whereas the shortest course here, which I gotta refuse this selection to be able to choose it. So this one here, 4, it's called Footloose, level 1, 337 meters, time 5 hours, seems nice and simple. But it looks like it's mostly snow and ice. So, you know, it kind of makes a bit of a difference as to how this is gonna go. But, you know, whatever, let's go for this small one, because I don't think we're gonna play a full course. This isn't a fast-playing game either. Okay, so this is the part that's a little ridiculous and kind of goes into the whole notion of just what we're getting into here in terms of complexity. So we have to select our equipment for doing our little climb here. I'm going to go over every piece of equipment that the game has decided to give us by default. We got 18 kilograms worth of stuff in our pack here. So we've got carabiners, I think that's how it's pronounced. We've got an anorak, which is a kind of jacket. We've got mittens, we've got ice pins, goggles, a woolly hat. If we hit next here, we've got a mask, stove, portable stove, and gas cylinder to use it with. We've got a canteen, 20 meters of rope, crampons, which seem to be some kind of like claw type of thing. We've got a lamp, pitten, something like that, helmet, strap, hammer, sleeping bag, one-man tent, chalk, gators, like not crocodiles or alligators, but like, in fact, I'm not actually sure what those are. Soft shoes, stirrups, Jumar R, which I think is some kind of latching thing or unlatching thing. Sun cream, a knife, flask, stereo, game disc, lighter, chocolate, raisins, orange, coffee, ravioli, meat and beans, and finally, sugar. That is a lot of stuff we're carrying on our little mountain climbing adventure. And the thing is, we can either accept this as it is, or refuse it and select an entirely different loadout of stuff. Now, we're only doing one short course, so I don't think we're going to have to really mess with this, so we're just going to accept it. I don't want to do the whole reorganizing thing just in case it, like, takes forever. And after a bit more loading, we're in the game. So, you might be thinking, oh, so the controls, you just sort of move sideways. No. I'm holding right on the joystick right now, and nothing is happening. And if I push left, I take one step forward. And if I push left again, nothing happens. Remember, this is a game released by Epyx, and ties in with their sort of sports-themed games. So, the way you walk in this game is to mimic the actual motion of walking with the joystick by pushing left and right, alternating. Now that's a gap. I don't want to fall down there. In fact, I'm going to demonstrate what happens if we do fall in. And then you got to sort of catch yourself. And this sequence... whoa. Whoops. Okay, and yeah, this is showing us that we just lost a life. That message at the bottom indicates we lost a life. Basically, the harder the course you're on, the less lives you're given. Because we're playing on the easiest, we should have 3 lives. So yeah, whoops. Actually, no, that's perfect positioning. Because yeah, you can jump in this side-scrolling section as well. But yeah, I was going to try to demonstrate the controls here. So you catch yourself, you hold up, you hold down, you push the button once or twice. It's the manual is not super clear on how this works. But from what I've gathered, you hold up until you're locked in, you hold down until you're locked in, you push the button, and you let go of the directions. And that's how you climb up on these ramp sections. It's a little weird, but, you know, it works. So, anyways, back to moving left and right alternating. Okay, so let's be a little careful here. Jump the gap. Be a little careful here. Jump the gap. Now, if you just want to take very small steps, then you just have to lightly tap the back direction, and you'll just take a very small step. But to actually do proper walking, you have to do that whole back and forth motion on the joystick. Oh, and I guess I should demonstrate. If we hit spacebar here, it brings up our cursor, and then we can see what we've got currently being carried in our hands. And as long as we're not actually climbing, we can go to our bag and just pull anything out of here and put it into our carrying thing. And also, if you put on any kind of clothing from here, then it automatically assumes you want to equip it, so to speak. So the anorak here was like that jacket. If we push the button, we'd now be wearing that. But we don't need to because the temperature is only -7. So that's apparently not that bad. And also to back out of this, we just hit left on the joystick. And then to go back to the main game, we hit spacebar again. So yeah, it's actually not that complicated in terms of controls. It's just there's so much complexity to this experience. Now, I think I read something in the manual about the crampons being useful for these climbing sections here, which are going up the ice. I'm not 100% certain like what a crampon even is, though. And plus there's the fact that I can't put it on right now because, well, I'll demonstrate in a second here. So if I actually push spacebar and bring up the cursor, you'll see I can pull up the carried thing just fine, but I can't pull up the in my bag thing because I'm in the middle of climbing. If you're in the middle of climbing, you can only access your carried items. Okay, it looks like we have a nice... Whoa! That was weird. I did not expect to fall there. I guess that's the whole thing with testing the ground, because you can actually... Sometimes you'll notice when I was trying to do the walking forward section that I could actually, like, put my stick in the ground, in a sense. And that's what you could do to test the ground beneath you, to make sure you don't fall into any unexpected holes. So yeah, my character's thirsty now, so I'm gonna go to my bag, and what should we drink? Let's drink some coffee, because we got a couple of those. Coffee consumed. Also, it looks like we've got another ice cliff coming up, so let's actually go get those crampons and put them on. So where are they? Here they are. So they are now in our carried, which means we've got them equipped. What was the thing? Right, so if I push the button, that's what tests the ground beneath you. So I don't think there's going to be another... Oh no, wait, this is rock climbing now. Okay, so this is a little bit of a weird thing. The way this works is you hold the button down to cycle through which part of your body you want to move. And the cycling body parts you see on the right side of the screen, if any of those body parts are flashing, it means that we don't have a good hold on that body part. So once we have a body part selected, we can move it however we want. And then the idea is we just gotta get ourselves up. And once we've got our body parts where we want them for doing a maneuver, we hold the button down and push the direction we want to move in. Yeah, this is a lot of effort just to move ourselves around. Yeah, how am I supposed to ascend here? I guess maybe if one arm is loose, maybe we're still going to be fine, just as long as not both arms are loose. Let's see. Okay, so I am getting through here. It seems like so long as at least a couple of your body parts are secured, you can continue to do this. In fact, I've got a funny feeling it may be as such that so long as just one body part is in a secure spot, you can make these maneuvers. But like right here, all 4 of them are fine, so might as well just keep going. Yeah, so like right here, only my legs are secure right now. But despite that, I can still pull myself up some more. So if I now move my arms... okay, so it's saying one arm is secure. So if I move my legs up now, it's saying both legs and my right arm are secure. So I pull myself up, move my arms again. But it's actually pretty tricky to just visualize like what's going on because it keeps cycling between the body parts. Like it'd be nice if it actually just kept all 4 body parts on screen at a time and just sort of changed the color to indicate how secure or insecure it is. Like that would make more sense to me, but I guess this is what they decided to go with for whatever reason. And we're out of that. We're back to the trail. Okay, so I think we've got another rock climbing section here. Oh no, this is this section. So I think we actually do have to use the crampons. So let's select that. And then go out of there. Like, I'm not sure if that helped. Like, this seems to be going about as well as usual, so maybe it did something? I'm not sure. Okay, we're almost to the top of this section. And then that should put us back into more side-scrolling. Or, nope, it's just more of this. I guess we're on a big section of this now. And there's even a third section here. My character's hungry. I want to be able to take a break so I can eat some food. But we just got this big climb ahead of us now. And now we've gone straight into the rock climbing section. And we've only got one limb secured, so I better solve that problem. So yeah, these sections here are not nearly as difficult as they seemed at first. The trick is to just make sure that your body parts, at least one of your body parts, is good at all times. Like right now, I don't have my legs in place, so I think I want to try to move more to the side here. Because that leg has a good foothold there. And I have also noticed that so long as the way this section works, so long as you don't make a move, you can, like, when you hold the button down and make a move like that, like an actual move your body, that's the only time it actually checks to see where which body parts actually have a hold on anything. So if you end up in a situation where none of your body parts have a hold on the surface properly, then so long as you don't move your body, you won't fall. Or that seems to be how it works here. I just wish there was more of a visual indication as to what sections of the rock face you could hold on to successfully and which ones you couldn't. Because that doesn't seem to happen here. Now you might also be thinking, like, what do all those items we packed with us have to do with anything, if all we have to do to make it up this mountain is just, position body parts and hit buttons at the right times and stuff. But from what I understand, a lot of the, oh, hello. I think we reached the top of that one. Because loading's... There we go. Okay, I don't know why it blanked out there for a second, but... Congratulations, you are now among other great mountain heroes in the final assault. Okay, so we actually conquered that easy course. Holy jeez, how many high scores does this game try to track? 50? Okay, admirable, but the high score saver was... Or no, wait, I think it was a reset high score, so maybe it does save the high scores on its own accord. I'm gonna find out in a second. If I push the spacebar... I can't actually tell if it's writing to disk or not. There's also a certain irony of listening to the American national anthem when I'm Canadian. Whatever. And then we're back to this screen here, which, that was expected. But yeah, what I was gonna get at there was that a lot of the items you bring with you are to survive the more hazardous courses or multiple courses in a row. And some of them are just basically safety equipment. So, like, if you're in a situation where you got a tough climb ahead of you and you want to make sure if you make a mistake you don't fall off the mountain, then you can, like, put in carabiners, I think that's what it's called, and then you can attach rope to that and stuff. There's, like, all these different items you can use to assist in getting up. Or if you wanted to eat food, like, you gotta be able to cook the food, depending on what it is. So that's why you got the little mini stove. And if it gets late, you gotta camp out. Like, there's all these layers to the game. Which, sure, we didn't see much of that here, but that's because I didn't want to play this game for like 4 hours straight, right? But yeah, that was Final Assault, a mountain climbing game which doesn't suck, which is kind of impressive.